Casper Dolberg has reportedly rejected Celtic Football Club. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. It's transfer deadline day. That means there is news coming out everywhere. But yeah, I was doing a live earlier on Big Stevie Cool, and some people broke it in the chat about at Atlanta. But since then, apparently Ajax have even hoovered them off at Atlanta and obviously Celtic. So yeah, that's pretty much what happens when you leave your transfer business to the last day. It always runs the risk of this. And I mean, I tell you what, man, it's a bit of a disaster for Celtic. As for Adam Ida, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is probably going to derail his move to Swansea, because it would be. I mean, I know we all banter and Adam Ida's pish and all that. They can't let Ida go if they don't bring in another striker, because you'd be stuck with Johnny Kenny and Shin Yamada, and I think you can clearly tell that that's just no good enough. Yamada's not proven. Johnny Kenny's probably not ready. But yeah, let's get into it. So this is the latest from Sky Sports News. Is Anthony Joseph. Celtic look right. Take two. Celtic looks set to miss out on striker Casper Dolberg after he reopened talks with Ajax. The strikers indicated he would prefer a move to the Eredivisie club. Sky Sports News revealed earlier today that Ajax made an inquiry this morning over a permanent deal, but were not satisfied with the conditions set out by Anderlecht. Ajax came back with a loan approach, but Anderlecht are not keen to loan their star striker and are only open to selling for a significant fee. It looks around about 8 million. So what I would say is, regarding this move for him to Ajax, massive club, been on the decline massively last couple of years, but I think crucially, this season, they're in the Champions League, and tell you what, man, that's probably a deciding factor here, and it's probably the last thing that Celtic fans want to hear, considering the fact that they went out the Champions League to Karat Almaty back on last Tuesday, 6 days ago. But I actually believe well, I mean, it's common sense, nothing to do with what I believe, but the reality is, if Celtic got into the Champions League, Casper Dolberg would, I'm not saying he'd be more likely to sign for Celtic over Ajax, but the chances of him signing for Celtic would drastically go up. Everybody wants to play in the Champions League. I was just listening there, right, to Sky Sports News. Paul Merson talk about Nicholas Jackson, right? Apparently he's away on a loan with an obligation to Bayern Munich, and he's like, I don't understand why he wants to go and play in the Bundesliga. Yeah, Bayern Munich are an amazing club, but you know, it makes no sense to me why a club like Aston Villa and Newcastle haven't come in for this guy. They're both struggling to score. Everybody wants to play in the Premier League. I mean, come on. How up your own fucking arse do you need to be to pretend that Nicholas Jackson would rather move, right, to Newcastle or Aston Villa over fucking Bayern Munich? That is absolutely ridiculous and laughable. Absolutely laughable. I mean, come on. Come on, guys. What, Bayern Munich, one of the biggest clubs in world football, right? You're guaranteed pretty much to win trophies, apart from Harry Kane's first year. It's like, imagine coming out and saying something like that. This Paul Merson, he comes out with for every 10 thing he says, nine of it's wrong. But anyway, back to Dolberg. Celtic, they're going to be scrambling. What is going to happen in the next couple of hours, I don't know. Obviously, the English window closes at 7, so to be fair, we do have a bit more hours than that. Ours is about 11 PM, so that'll be interesting to see whether or not what happens there. But some people aren't happy on Twitter. Let's see this. The Celtic board are a disgrace, not fit for purpose, and should be removed from any position of power at the club. For a group of men who annually brag about how well we ran as a business, we've been embarrassed a humiliating amount of times this summer. Time for change. The Celtic board are in crisis mode. I tell you what, man, probably the last thing they need after what happened last week in the Champions League. So that'll be interesting. I mean, and not to rub salt in the wounds, but then you look, if you're a Celtic fan, you look over Rangers, on the fair, just signing Shermiti for 8 million. Now, again, I don't think anybody's jealous about the fact that Rangers are signing Shermiti, but I think it's just the fact that Rangers are signing a guy for 8 million. You know, wee bit surprising, man, to say the least. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, Dolberg, What's your thoughts on it? Are the Celtic board a disgrace? Do they still deserve to go? Will he come in? It doesn't look very good. It looks like it's all over. And what the Celtic board should have done is just get this deal over the line, and instead of pissing about with wee bids here and there and about Ajax apparently are selling Brobbey, is that how you pronounce it, Brobbey, to Sunderland for 26 million, so they're in the need for a forward, and they're going to be a bit desperate here. You and Cameron tweet it. It's John McGinn all over again. So yeah, Celtic yet again. See, I tell you what. See Dolberg, man, I would have been. I'm not saying I'd be sitting here bricking it and fearing, but Dolberg is a good player, and I am beyond ecstatic that he's not been brought in. And I'm seeing a lot of that from Rangers fans on Twitter. So I think that's when you know Celtic have let one slip here. But anyway, guys, we'll be back later on. More transfer news. Big deals around the corner, but not this one. Celtic look set to lose it on Dolberg to Ajax.